muscle-bound hunks. Kraven leads the Me Too movement. And we are joined by Jason Mantzoukas. All this and more on today's Last Looks.
Wait, I'm here too?
Hit the theme.
Say that movie sucked, and it keeps up. They're always fucked. Can't explain why, but my eyes are tearing up, and I'm hearing stuff. Got a movie that flops. Criteria's not on this movie's next stop, but let's talk.
Hello, all my Tony Bennett and John Goodman impersonators. It's me, Paul Scheer, and today I am joined by Mr. Jason Mantzoukas. Jason,
Well, here we go. Back in action. Can you believe it?
I cannot. I'm excited that we are joining together to look through Last Looks because we got a lot of big stuff today. I also just want to call out that the Toronto show is almost sold out. I'm excited for people to go, and people have been asking, what movie are you doing? And since it's been a long time, Toronto, we wanted to bring you something good. We are doing the musical with Sylvester Stallone called Oscar.
Wait, he's done multiple. We did one with Dolly Parton.
I think Molly said earlier it's not actually a musical.
Yeah, it's a screwball, not a musical.
Oh, Screwball. Okay, well, look, Here's the thing. Screwball musical.
Phew. Okay, I just, you saw me just have a panic attack.
Well,
the idea that I would have to endure another Sylvester Stallone singing movie. Also, Paul, how aware are you? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Of the fact that Sylvester Stallone wrote the movie A Working Man. The new Jason Statham David Ayer movie is scripted by Sylvester Stallone.
Okay, well, I've been saving that movie because I've been like, I want to watch it either for the show or really enjoy it. Holy shit.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Here's what I felt similarly. And granted, take this with a grain of salt. I've only watched the first hour.
Okay.
It is not the joyous Jason Statham beekeeper vibes that we want. I'm afraid it is. It feels a lot more, let's say, Stallonean.
Well, by the way, here's what I think is going on. We talked about this, which everybody on the podcast will hear in a couple weeks. But in the Expendables movie, I feel like Stallone has a bunch of scripts that are just floating around, and when he doesn't do one, he kind of throws them out to somebody else. And this felt like, wow, I love that he is. I mean, the fact that Stallone has not gotten a writing credit on Tulsa King is surprising. I mean,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he's not in those rooms.
I mean, he loves to put his name on stuff. We talked about this during Cobra. He put his name on the book Cobra.
Yes, the book that the movie is based on. He wanted to re-release the book with his name as the author.
Oh my gosh. Well, this
incredible stuff.
This is a moment in time, this Oscar movie, where Stallone is trying to be like Schwarzenegger, do comedies, and he did like a gangster comedy. I remember this as something that was released that I did not go and see.
Same. I remember it. You know, the VHS box is ubiquitous because it was a big movie, a failure, but a big movie nonetheless because it was a Stallone movie. So and in those years, that was something to be celebrated. But boy, I was not interested.
And now, by the way, the fun thing about Toronto is we decided, since we're going all the way out there, we would do a little dinosaur show the night before. Small, bespoke, intimate rooms, no microphones, with a great cast. Lennon Parham, Lisa Gilroy, they're joining us, as well as Seth Morris and Chad Carter in Toronto. That is going to be fun. That's the night before. That is on
Come see
Thursday.
us do improv in a small setting. It is a great show, great people, and it's going to crush. Toronto, you've never seen comedy before, right? Second City? ? How about dinosaur improv, Toronto?
At Second City. So you.
It's at Second City. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just kidding. Love Second City. Big fan.
But then after that, we're gonna head right over to Chicago, back at the Den again. Smaller venue than what we've been doing with the same cast plus Owen Burke. for a couple shows there. So you can get tickets at hdtgm.com. But these shows will sell out quick because they are smaller. But I'm excited to go back to Chicago. I love that room. The Den is awesome.
Great room. We had great shows there last year. Excited to go back. Excited to walk around Chicago, eat some good food, hang out with all the meats.
I can't wait.
All the meats of Chicago.
Oh, and by the way, the thing that is important to mention is that June will be with us in Toronto. So, that's exciting. A very exciting time.
So, lest you think that we've lost June completely. Nope. She's back in. She's gonna be watching these terrible movies, and I will say, I'll miss St. Clair. I'll miss that chaotic, screaming entity beside me on stage. But it will be great to have June back.
But here's the thing. People don't even know what they're getting with St. Clair because they only heard the first episode, Kraven the Hunter, which we're going to talk about in this episode.
Which we had June for as well.
Exactly. So you've only just seen the tip of the iceberg. Jessica descends into insanity as the shows go on.
Oh, by the end of the tour, St. Clair was nearly hospitalized. She was almost institutionalized. We almost had to 5150 her.
By the way, we always ask you to submit a tagline for the movies that we do. And so here is a tagline from Ghostbag. Kraven the Hunter. He was in Equatorial Africa with my dad when he was hunting lions right before he died. Love it. Little Madam Web. It's longer. I like a punchier one, but I like that we went back there.
And it's a call. You really have to know the Sony Spider-Man villainiverse. But yes.
I love it all. All right. So thank you, Ghostbag, for that tagline. Remember, if you have an alt movie tagline title, submit it to us on our Discord and we may read it on the show. Now, Jason, like I said, we are going to get into corrections and omissions in just a bit.
Oh, I can't. You're telling me that people have corrections on our comic book based movie knowledge?
Oh, they're going to come at us hot. I want to also give a thanks to Chris Cheney for that opening theme. And I got to say one more thing, Jason. People are getting very excited about Taskmaster. I keep on seeing more and more promo.
Yeah.
See out there May 1st, right? Or May 4th, is it?
May 1st. It'll air May 1st on Channel 4 in the UK, and then it will air May 2nd on YouTube and everywhere else.
All right.
So it'll be up. The new episodes will be up week to week starting May 2nd on YouTube. So go to YouTube right now. Go to the Taskmaster page and subscribe.
I've already seen some clips of you on stage now. There are little moments. It looks great. You look so good up there.
It's so crazy to see footage of me on the Taskmaster stage. It seems strange to me.
I am legitimate. This is the event of the year. And I was telling you before we started recording, my kids have started watching The Good Place. And they were very pleasantly surprised to see Derek. And now I believe I'm going to blow their mind when they see Taskmaster. Now, the only benefit of The Good Place was we've been burning through it. They've been loving it. But they turned to June after watching like a couple seasons and they're like, Mom, why aren't you in this show? June's like, I don't know, but I was in Parks and Rec, and they're like, what? We don't care.
What's that?
Yeah, they don't want it. But it is so funny when my kids are watching this stuff because they're like, do you know Janet?
Yeah.
And every now and then, my son, who I love so much, but sometimes will say the dumbest things. I go, yeah, I know Janet. And he goes, do you know Bad Janet? I'm like, they're the same person.
I would love it. That's such a funny thing that your kids have, like, they have another element or level that you might know the people that are on the TV shows. What a strange thing. And I remember my nieces when they were younger, when they were probably closer to your kids' age, were similarly asking me questions about something I had done and do I know this person and do I know that person?
Yeah.
And they were all people that I knew. And I was like, oh yeah, I know that person. I can't remember. And then she thought for a second, my niece thought for a second and then said, do you know Reba? And I was like, Reba McEntire? She was like, yes, do you know Reba? She was probably 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And turns out they had discovered the TV show Reba in reruns.
Huge hit.
And were obsessed with it. And I was like, I felt so, it felt so cool to be like, oh yeah, I do know that person.
Right.
I do. For them to be so excited about Reba and to have to admit, I do not know Reba, they were palpably disappointed.
Well, this is the thing is like they will always pull out something truly crazy, but I did have a weird interaction with my, I'll just say like a third cousin, wonderful kid, younger kid. And he's like, you're in that movie with Jennifer Garner, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, is she nice? I'm like, she's the best, the coolest, like literally a fun as hell person. And I'm telling him that. And he goes, you think you could ask her if you'd ever go on a date with me? Oh. I was like, oh, no, I can't. He's like, well, maybe we could just like hang out with her if I ever come out to LA. I was like, oh, it was like a guy. It was so sweet, but also
he's got a crush on Jennifer Garner.
And what I love about it too is Jennifer Garner from 2025. He's like a 13-year-old. Like he's not like
he didn't see 13 going on 30
or Alias. Like he's just like I like that. I would like to meet her and see if I could strike up something. The sweetest thing,
as hell.
And it was hard for me to come down. Anyway, we'll be right back after this quick break.
But do you think? Wait, but do you think she'd go on a date?
Well, I mean, I'll try to. I'll DM her. We'll see what she says. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Last week we talked at length about Kraven the Hunter. We had questions. You have answers. You might have even wanted to take a moment to say, Paul, Jason, Jessica, June, you're wrong. Here's your chance to do it all. It's now time for corrections and omissions. Corrections and omissions. All right. Thank you, Bionic Limbs, for that theme song. Here we go. Sean McBee writes, all right, Jason, it gets me nervous to do this in front of you because these are always so weirdly worded.
I can't, by the way, I can't believe you do this. I can't believe you entertain this nonsense.
I love it. I love our
these
Discord.
Lunatics.
All right, so
disconnect the Discord.
Sean McBee really does bring. By the way, that shirt is selling. There is a little cartoon of you unplugging a computer. It's pretty great. Sean McBee writes, if the point of these Sony movies is to build up a Spider-Man universe so they can all jump straight into action with a bunch of established villains and supporting characters, when Sony regains the rights to use Spider-Man, then why introduce Rhino just to kill him off? He's a major Spider-Man villain that is dead before Spider-Man even gets a chance to fight him. I'm beginning to think that Sony has no idea of what they are doing. Well, I mean, yeah, right? I mean...
yes, clearly. I mean, they are, as evidenced by each of these movies and their incoherence, I don't think they have much of a plan. Sean McBee.
I don't think that Spider-Man is ever coming back to Sony. I think that, I mean, technically that could be a door that opens, but it's just, it doesn't feel like that's ever going to happen. I think the idea is that they're
clearly what they want, you know, like,
right.
Like I think Sony keeps thinking, oh, great. Now that Marvel has done us a solid and established this character, we can now pull him back. I remember a couple of years ago, they were saying after the last Spider-Man where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showed up, that perhaps one of them would keep going forward while Tom Holland was pulled back into the Sonyverse. And there was some drama around that.
Right. There's a whole thing. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like they are not really trying to build a universe as much as build a bunch of movies that are loosely connected on theme, right? Because they're not even in the same, I mean, I guess they're in the same world.
I think they are. I think there are people at Sony, and I'm certain not by the time they got to Kraven, who I believe were trying to set up basically the Sinister Six or some version of that they could then drop Spider-Man into and be like, okay, now Spider-Man is inside of a world of his villains. Okay,
there was
terrific.
A great Sony script that had the Sinister Six in it, and it was, I mean, but again, that's a weird thing. It's almost like better if Sony just keeps on shuttling stuff over to Marvel and make a good movie like that. Make a standalone.
I also think that Sony has shown over and over again that they don't truly understand, with the exception of Venom, what these stories should be about.
Well, I'll argue that the reason why Venom works in a weird way is because it really became like a creator-driven thing. It's a Tom Hardy.
An auteur-driven movie.
It really is.
Sadly, Tom Hardy is the auteur who's absolutely out of his mind, and I love it.
Do you want to read this next one? This is from Hang On Man.
Okay, this is from Hey Nong Man. Jason joked about the White Lotus brothers in this episode, and it turns out Kraven actually does have a White Lotus connection. Alessandro Nivola, a.k.a. the Rhino, is the father of Sam Nivola, a.k.a. the White Lotus younger brother, Lachlan Ratliff. Now that's what I call capital S synergy. Okay, hey, Nong Man. First of all, capital why synergy? Is it a proper name? Is it a noun? Why capital S synergy? Okay, and yes, this is a classic disconnect the Discord question. I don't need to be. This is information. This is
right.
not.
It has nothing to do with the joke.
It's got a real gotcha. It's got haha. Did you know this? Yeah. We know that Sam Nivola is the child of Alessandra Nivola and the actress Emily Mortimer, one of the true greats.
Love her.
And I thought the kid was great. I thought all the Nepo babies were great in White Lotus. I thought Schwarzenegger was fantastic.
I gotta watch. I've never seen it. Never seen a single episode.
It's so fun. I
gotta get into it.
You will enjoy it as a. Here's what I'll say. Sometimes the monocultural show can feel at times like a weight.
Yes.
I got to watch this intense, like Adolescence feels like that to me now.
Same.
And I have not watched it yet because I'm like, okay, I know this is going to be intense and difficult.
Yes.
And it's going to be incredible and a feat of production to do these wonders. And that's cool. But I know the subject matter is tough.
Yeah.
But the White Lotus, the opposite. It's breezy, baby. It's fun as hell.
I love it. All right, so let's go to the phones. Jesse, what do you got?
Hi, Paul and folks. Jesse here. I love the Kraven episode, but there's an omission from the comics I wish y'all had brought up, and that's that period in the books when the original Kraven was dead and his son took over and then became a movie producer, and they did a whole Get Shorty-esque parody and a story where Kraven hung out with Jay Leno. It was during the early 2000s, written by the late Ron Zimmerman, I think. I think that would have made it for a better movie. Thanks. Bye.
Whoa. First of all,
that's funny.
I'm going to get, it's called Get Kraven?
Kraven,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know this book.
I may have to get that. I like this. All right, great. That's information that I like just because I'm like, okay, I'm on board with that. And also you left it in a great way, Jesse.
Well, it's also like that to me isn't like, you idiots, you didn't say the thing. It's like, hey, you talked about this. Maybe you'd also like this thing. I love a recommendation.
That's a good one.
Fun as hell.
I did a little research on that book. It's kind of universally accepted as being terrible, but an interesting thing.
So you're saying our fans have absolute knowledge of terrible comics runs as well as terrible movies?
Who would have thought?
But the interesting thing is it has two movie executive brothers called the Rothsteins that are clearly takeoffs of the Weinsteins. And like in the book, they were called out for kind of being like piece of shit rapists way back in 2002, like before any of it came out public. So I don't know.
All right,
Get
so
Kraven.
Kraven is really led the Me Too movement in a way.
Yes,
I mean,
yep. Kraven. Yeah, that's where it all started with Kraven.
All right, Kate from Austin, what do you got?
Hey, this is Kate from Austin, not the one from White Lotus. I was just at your Austin, Texas show, and I just wanted to touch on the Rhino does this shriek, and I really thought y'all were going to talk about it, and you didn't, and I would just love to hear what you have to say about that huge, huge choice. Thank you guys for coming to Texas. Have a good night.
Well, I mean, look, this is something that I was bummed that we did not play the shriek. Let's hear the shriek.
Oh, yeah, but I don't remember it.
Here, you'll love it.
The Kraven hit failed. All of our guys are dead.
Huh, yeah.
Choice.
Yeah, I guess I kind of remember that. Yeah, that's fun. We should have played that. That's fun.
He does also has another like at the end right before he gets killed. Like I like that he's vocalizing like an animal in a way.
I like that too. Like I feel like Nivola's doing as much as he can with a character who unfortunately spends very little time in his scary, monstrous form as the Rhino, and for the most part looks like a tech bro in a backpack,
Yes.
So where he can be weird, I enjoy him being weird.
I think the movie, it's a bummer because it's just hard. I think it's hard to find your angle in a movie like this where he has to not be the villain for the majority of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. He's got to be, like you said, the tech bro who is not, it doesn't even seem like there's nothing even fun with that. Like I'd love to see him like more of like a Steve Jobs guy. He's an angry tech bro. And then he's like a angry Rhino. It's a hard, there's not enough variation. I don't blame him.
I agree completely. It's just, none of it works.
Let's do one more phone call here. What do we got here?
Hey, Paul, maybe Jason. just finished the Kraven the Hunter episode. One thing I noticed when I was watching it, I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but it definitely seems like they had to CGI mouths on some of the characters. Like maybe they changed some lines and they put these CGI mouths that looks like they were about to float off. It was most noticeable in the scene when they're at the sexless nature cabin talking to Calypso, and it looks like her lips are about to just come off her face. Let me know what you think. Great, love the show. Bye.
Okay, let's see.
Exactly. Look at what you became.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Look at what you became.
So that's really interesting.
It's bad. So this is a big AI thing right now. So one of the uses for AI that they're talking about coming in and using pinpoint AI stuff is to go in and change the mouth shapes for shows that are like, say you want to watch Dark, the German show Dark,
right.
And you're like, oh, but I don't want to watch the clunky dub of it and I don't want to watch it in German. There are now going to be AI filters that will make the mouth shapes match whatever language is being used in the show.
I saw this
So I think this is an early attempt at something. I don't know that this was AI, to be clear, but that's what they're trying to do is change mouth shapes.
Well, here's what I'll say too. I know for a fact, I won't name the person, very famous person, very hands-on auteur, not Tom Hardy, who
Stallone?
Yes. Who will in editing have a green screen set up and they will literally get that person's mouth to pop it in. It's like, you know, so it could even be that person's mouth. It's an odd, that does look weird.
Oh yeah, that one looks very weird, but
like unnerving. The other one that I thought was really upsetting, and this is different, but remember that show Different World, the spinoff of the Cosby Show?
Sure, yeah.
They AI upgraded it for Netflix, and to make the resolution higher because they have to make the resolution better. And if you look at any of the writing on the wall, it's all that weird AI, because they can't write text the right way. It's bonkers.
Weird.
So if you look at Different World in whatever resolution is on Netflix, you can see how weird the 4K AI up-resing is. It's really, really weird.
Okay.
All right. Back to the Discord. Sean McBee writes,
back to the Discord.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
I felt so good being away from it.
I know. For a second, we had some voicemails.
And now I'm plunged back into the cesspool that is the Discord.
Well, Sean's going to give us some more villain gripes. While I understand Sony was setting up Chameleon for a role in a future movie, I found it super irritating that his mimicry was established multiple times throughout the movie, but never paid off in the course of the story. It was clearly there just to establish another villain, which feels cheap. If his mimicry had come into play at the end to facilitate even something as simple as deceiving a henchman, it would have been so much more rewarding.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think that is an interesting, weird choice because he is singing Tony Bennett, and I don't even want to get into the Tony Bennett.
I'm not.
Wow. People have been like, I thought I could figure it out, and I'm lost. Like, I've seen so many comments. People were lost by that. So good point. Again, good point.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're pointing out a larger problem, which is that the story doesn't really add up, but that character is the Chameleon. He is Kraven's brother. So having him there made sense. It just was, why not use it?
I mean, there we go. Do you even want to read one more in here? What do you think?
It says, Jason, you want to read one more?
There it is.
No, I don't. But I guess I have to. Okay, so this is from iFed, AYEFED.
Yeah.
When the Rhino first reveals that he signed up for scientific study to increase strength, he reveals that his skin became tough and gray as an adverse reaction. But did anyone notice the, all caps, fucking rhino horns on the top of his head? ? How does even the most poorly administered and dangerous scientific study not only mess with his skin, but also give him rhinoceros horns? I couldn't stop laughing out loud. It was like a child invented the character and the backstory. Also, does that mean there are hundreds of other people out there that also took the study and now have rhinoceros parts? ?
Well, now this I like only because that's how they didn't kill off the rhino. We just met one rhino, I think.
Yeah, and I also think much in the same way that comics, nobody ever really dies. I think if they were to have a movie and this rhino came back, they would, no problem. That's fine. Like, I don't think anybody ever really dies in comic book movies, the same way that they don't really die in comic books themselves. Anyway, My guess to this writer is that I suspect he noticed the rhinoceros horns, to be clear. And my suspicion is that the scientist was using rhinoceros DNA or something because they have such hard skin in an effort to increase the strength, and then the rest of it came along with it.
I can tell you, the scientists on this movie, that was the only thing that was really done on the level. This is true. Like, that would actually happen. So I just want everyone to know, like, don't question
the science checks out.
Science
we
checks
checked
out.
it. We checked it. The science checks out.
Now, Jason, I know that you wouldn't want to even reward people for writing in their comments, but
I'd rather they wouldn't.
Yeah, if you had, well, this helps everybody get through the weeks here. If you had to pick a winner, though, who do you think came in hottest here?
I know who the loser is. It's you and I. It's you and me. I don't know who the winner is. What are we talking about?
I mean,
Jesse?
I would say Jesse to me.
Jesse from who gave us the comics run.
Yeah,
I like someone who's giving a recommendation, an earnest recommendation for what I'm now told is a terrible comics run.
You get this amazing song from Seth Chatfield. Hit it, Seth.
Rose to the top to defeat all the others. You really honored your father and mother. You brought it all and you went all in. And guess what, buddy? You win nothing.
Now, by the way, there's a new way to submit songs. It's on the hdtgm.com website. Go there, submit your songs there. You just drop it in the Dropbox. Easy peasy, done. Keep them short. All right, remember, if you want to chime in with your thoughts, and remember, they have to hold up to Jason's,
scrutiny.
Yeah, exactly. You could do it at discord.gg/hdtgm or call us at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. Okay, coming up after the break, Jason and I will announce next week's movie. But first, take a listen to this bonus Second Opinion song from our Kraven the Hunter live show.
Now it's time for Second Opinions.
Hello, I'm Jamie.
You can turn around. You can turn around if you want to face the crowd rather than us.
This means a lot to me. You guys are hilarious and beautiful and amazing, and please run for office ASAP. These ones. You guys can, it's optional, but ideally,
I get you.
The middle. Okay.
I've been told I'm unelectable.
But if you grow out that hair.
Get that haircut. Woo!
Oh yeah, wax me down and I'm good. I'm good to go.
He's got the blood of a lion or a vampire. Is this just Twilight? 'Cause he hunts like Edward. But he's really bad at parkour. Falling off buying buildings. Are lions immortal? Why doesn't he ever roar? I'm just gonna give 5 stars.
Woo! Wow. Amazing.
I love you guys.
Way to go, Texas. Thank you so much.
Call all your representatives, please.
All right. If you're looking for a companion piece, if you need a little extra How Did This Get Made, every Tuesday we re-release old episodes. This week's matinee was Tough Turf with James Spader. And next week will be Return of Xander Cage with Adam Scott. We got to get Adam Scott back on.
Wow. We got a fantastic, one of my favorite episodes of TV this year is the Golden Globes episode of The Studio.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Seth and Evan's show, The Studio on Apple TV. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's show with Pete and Alex. And there's an episode, I can't remember what number it is, that it takes place entirely at the Golden Globes. And I
think you are way ahead of us.
Fantastic. And Adam Scott, I say that because Adam Scott features prominently.
I cannot wait. I love the episode with the missing reel where they're going around like in this detective story. And the camera work on that is like,
it's great. It's
Seth has
so
been
good.
Posting all these clips online of how they do some of these shots.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that drone shot in the beginning of that one episode that flies over the
parking structure that ends at the parking structure. Great. Yep.
So good. Anyway, check out The Studio. And also, by the way, maybe Seth, maybe Adam, maybe we do a real superstar episode on May 21st at Largo. We're doing a How Did This Get Made in Friends? So Jason and myself and a question mark. We don't know who it will be, but that will be at Largo May 21st.
It's going to be like The Masked Singer.
Yes.
The guest will be dressed as a question mark, and you've got to guess who it is. There'll be the voice modulation, the whole deal.
The whole thing is going to be there. Now, anyway, next week on this show, what you're going to get is, if you love Kraven the Hunter's muscular abs, then brace yourself for 2 times the amount of shirtless abdominals, because next week we are watching the 1992 buddy cop film Double Trouble. Oh, man, I'm so excited about these guys.
This was an incredible surprise to me.
Peter Paul and David Paul. Where have you been?
These are my Paul brothers.
And by the way, Scott, make a mental note of this. We have to do their other films. They have 2 other films, one where they're nannies and one where they're in it's like a Conan movie. I want to do them all. Anyway, a short breakdown of the plot is a criminal and a cop who also happen to be twin brothers must put aside their differences to work together to take down a jewel smuggling ring. Now, there are 0 reviews of Double Trouble on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a crime. So we'll turn to Letterboxd and Justin DeCloy, who writes, I watched this film hoping to witness 2 muscle-bound doofuses bickering with each other, lifting heavy things and making jokes about being twins, while the goofiest comedy music played throughout. And yes, this satisfied all those requirements.
True. It's got all that. And
I love it all.
Yeah, this one was fun to watch.
I love it. Let's do the trailer.
When David Jade became a cop, he was ready for the danger. Ready for the violence. The only thing he wasn't ready for...
Freeze. Dave? Peter?
...was his twin brother.
You got all the bad chromosomes, not me. Come on, man, this isn't funny.
Okay, you can stream Double Trouble on Amazon Prime, Fubo TV, MGM Plus, and Philo. Now, this is usually when I'll tell you to check out your local library's free digital media services like Hoopla, Libby, and Canopy. But instead, I want to play one last phone call that we received in our voicemail line this week from our friend in D.C.
Hi, Paul. I'm a federal archivist in Washington, D.C., and I wanted to bring your attention to something affecting libraries across the country. One of the agencies completely gutted in the Doge attacks and cuts on the humanities and public access to credible sources is IMLS, the Institute for Museum and Library Services. You can read more about how the whole staff has been put on leave and how grants have been terminated across the country and all the major news sources, but I'm not sure people understand how much of their local library funding might come from these grants distributed by this incredible agency. Most state budgets are also reducing fundings for public libraries. For many library services, systems, digital services like Hoopla and Libby have been the first on the chopping blocks. So unfortunately, this means less HD TTM movies available, which is a tragedy, but it's also unfortunately cutting off a lifeline for homebound and senior folks. The cuts to public service have been horrific across the board, but I thought this might be something you could speak out on in particular. And please come back and see us again in DC. We really need your cheer in these dark times. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. This is, what more to say than this is such
heartbreaking.
And because the libraries are, and we love our librarians, I went to this amazing event in a library outside of Austin. I had such an amazing time. What libraries do for communities and for people are so important. And if you want to help, because things are at stake, it's not just, this is like stuff that's going to affect so many people. You can write members of Congress. We're going to put a link in this episode in the show notes. You can basically, they give you a script, they give you a template letter to write to make it as easy as possible, just to reach out to tell people you want your libraries. And the site also will link to the American Library Association pages where you can sign a petition and share your library stories that they can use in their advocacy campaign.
And maybe reach out to your local libraries and see what they need or what's going on. There's a lot going on locally, I feel like, for your library. And if you are in Boise, remember, your library has an exclamation point at the end of it. Library!
Library! So anyway, let's help our librarians. Let's help our libraries. We need to keep information open, but more importantly, we need to have public spaces where people can go. And I think that's one of the things I've learned so much with the release of my book and talking to librarians is like libraries are a community center for internet access. Look, I was walking around in the library and people were just watching Instagram videos. I'm like, this is great. Right.
No, you need, and like the caller says, if you are a fan of this show, so much of what we cover, so many of the movies are available through your library, through these portals that the library subscribe to. You can get ebooks. You can get audiobooks. I get audiobooks from the library, and that's a great way to listen to audiobooks. You know?
Yeah, my Libby app is amazing. Anyway, support your libraries and get ready for Double Trouble next week. Jason, thank you for joining me. Disconnect the Discord, right?
Disconnect the Discord.